tell that we are gonna be friends. I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
Hello, how you doing?
Oh, today I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So today we have another guest. Please introduce yourself.
So my name is Zinei, and I've been at Chisun for this is my third year now, and in HKU I'm in my fourth year. I study interdisciplinary studies, so Bachelor
Mm.
of Arts and Science. So I
Okay.
just kind of study whatever interests me.
Oh, that's amazing. And then how do you feel about being in Jisan?
Ah, it's actually nice. If it wasn't nice, I wouldn't be here for
Yeah,
my third year.
third year. Yeah.
Yeah.
It says a lot considering you've been here for that long. I mean, I think most people that I've interviewed so far, well, not interviewed, but like spoken to so far for the podcast, they're either very new to Jisan or it's only been like a year or 2 years. So I think you're the first person that I know that's been in Jisan for 3 years.
Mm.
Um, so you moved in when you first joined HKU?
No, I moved in my second year because I'm
Oh,
local.
you're
I'm a
local,
local
okay.
student, so
Okay, yeah,
I can
because we
only
don't.
move
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm a local as well.
Ah,
So,
nice.
but I just didn't bother applying to dorms first year because I'm local. I have a house here. I just can't. But then I realized that's too difficult, so I moved into dorms second year.
Like too far.
Yeah, it's too far. I live in Tongchong.
I live in Mount San.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
like other end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like so then HKU becomes like the center point of the two ends of Hong Kong. Then yeah, no, it's difficult. Yeah, I think no. My sister goes to HKUST,
Oh, that's
so
far.
yeah, so it's far for all of us. So both of us live in dorms now. But yeah, so you're from Hong Kong.
Yeah,
You were
yeah.
born and raised in Hong Kong.
Oh, I was not born here.
Oh, okay.
But basically, after I was born, I just came back right away. I was born in South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's a wild card. I was not expecting that. South Africa. So I'm guessing your parents had worked there or something, but
Yeah, my dad worked there for a year.
oh, okay.
Yeah. About a year to 2 years. And then
Mm.
I was born. And then after I was born, okay, back.
Back. Okay. And your parents are both from Hong Kong?
Yeah.
They're all okay. So yeah, I mean, so technically you could claim that you are South African
I could.
because you're born in South Africa.
I could.
Yeah. No, I have this friend from high school who's fully Chinese. He's born and raised in Hong Kong, but he has an American passport. So
Ah.
so he just says he's from Boston because he was born in Boston, but he's lived in Hong Kong his whole life.
Oh. Okay, whatever he wants.
Yeah, it's his choice. But South Africa, I think the only other person that I know who's related to South Africa in any way, is there's this one classmate I have in architecture because I'm studying architecture.
Mm.
She was studying in South Africa before she came into HKU, but she's Korean. I, I don't know how that made the connection, but I guess it's the same way of like her parents working there.
Huh.
Yeah. So you don't have much experience of South Africa because you were born and you came to Hong Kong, right?
Yeah, I mean, my parents could lie to me and say, "Oh, you were actually born in Hong Kong." I'd be like, "Yeah,
Yeah, no, I wouldn't know. Yeah.
yeah,
So, but you've lived in Hong Kong your whole life.
yeah, yeah."
Did you have any phase of like going anywhere, exchange or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I actually just came back from like, not the last semester, but from January to June of 2023.
Mm.
I was on exchange in Norway.
Norway. Oh.
Yeah.
And did you like do the same course and everything in Norway, or is it just like was there like slight variations?
Because for my degree, I can just pick
Oh,
what I want.
so you have complete freedom.
Pretty much, like I can do anything from arts, social science, and science.
Wow. So what rename your course? What is it called?
My major
Yes.
is interdisciplinary studies,
Okay.
and my degree is Bachelor of Arts and Science.
Oh, so you could do anything within arts and science
Yeah, and social science.
and social science.
Yeah,
What?
any course they offer, I can take it.
Wow. Okay. How did you get into this? Like, how did you know about this? Because most people like get into uni and they're like, oh, I'm gonna do one thing and one thing only, right? That's the basic idea of it. But then now you have the options to do nearly everything. So talk to me about how you got into it.
Basically, when I was applying for university, I discovered this degree in another university. I just discovered Bachelor of Arts and Science, and it was quite free. So I was like, oh, this is cool. And then somehow I stumbled it across HKU on their website.
Okay.
And at that point, it was just their first year.
They like had just introduced it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
And then I just applied for it because why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's there, it's there. Like, why not?
Exactly.
So, what was the other university that you saw it in?
Amsterdam University College.
Oh, Amsterdam's fun. Amsterdam's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is purely just living the life. If you go places like in Europe, you just have fun in life. But you come to like Asian universities to study. I think that's the basic rule, right? Would you agree with that? No? Yeah?
Yeah, sort of. Like, I guess priorities are a bit different in different places.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I forgot what I was gonna ask. Are you in year 4 now then?
Yes.
You're in year 4.
I'm in my last semester.
Last semester, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
How's that feeling?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really want it to end, but at the same time, I'm not gonna do anything to prolong it.
Yeah.
And it just feels like, oh, it's the right time. Like, it's the right.
It's coming to an end.
amount.
Let's let it end. There's no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's fine. I'm at peace. with
Okay,
it.
that's good. That's very good because I don't know. I feel like I personally would panic when I'm near the end because I'm like, I've had 4 years of just getting told what to do. What am I gonna do then? What am I gonna do after? Because like uni's finished. What do I do? Do I get a job? I mean, I know what I'm gonna do because I've planned it, but it still gives me anxiety to think about that. I'm gonna leave university because this is just another life that I'm living. Because you had high school and then you had university and then what do you have afterwards, right? Because you could do like masters, postgrad, get a job. Getting a job just seems painful now. I just don't want to do it. The timings, I don't agree with the timings. I want to sleep in.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would try doing a full time
Yeah.
after, but intuitively, I kind of know it's not what I want to do for a long
Right.
time because I don't really think my natural body clock is suited for that.
Yeah. I'm the type to wake up at 12 every day if that's possible, but that doesn't work. You have class at like 9:30, so it just doesn't work. But the only solution to our problem is to start doing business.
I don't really know if I would be into that too.
Entrepreneurship, it's a big thing in Hong Kong now, right?
It is.
It's such a big thing. You just start up any company, whatever you're passionate about. Even
Yeah.
if hobbies, do you like what are your hobbies? That's a basic question I should ask everyone, but I don't.
Ooh, I really like to do exercise. I've
Exercise.
been trying different types currently. Like I'm
Like-
going to yoga later.
Oh, yoga, Pilates.
Yeah, I've tried Pilates, yoga. I just go to the gym. I work at Be Active.
You work at Be Active.
Yeah.
Oh, like every day or just?
Whenever somebody signs up for something.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. So it's like a part-time thing. You just tell them what your availability is, and then they give you a schedule.
Sort of, but it depends on like if there's people signing up for so basically what I do is I just teach people who have never used the gym how to
Oh,
use
you're
the
like a
gym.
PT.
A little bit, but just like basic version.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a beginner PT. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's so cool. How'd you get into doing that then? Like.
I've been going to the gym for like years already.
Okay,
so
that's great.
I already know how to use the gym, and somehow 2 of my friends found something in their email about learning how to do exercise, something like that. So then they joined it. And one day I was at the gym at the same time as they were there.
While
and
they were doing
like,
the lesson thing.
yeah, and they're like, oh, let me try and get you in it too. And that's how I ended up there.
Oh, that's great. I mean, so you didn't find it yourself. You found it through your friends.
Yeah,
And I'm guessing these are your gym buddies in a way.
sort of. I knew them like from my degree anyway.
Oh, okay. Just a random question. How often do you go gym in a week?
2 to 4 times.
That's good. That's a good balance. I don't know. I've been trying to go gym, but every time I plan, within the next 24 hours, I fall sick. You could probably hear my voice now. Like, I plan. I'm like, okay, tomorrow or maybe the day after, I will go gym, and then I wake up in the morning with like bloodshot eyes, headache. I'm like, I can't move.
Oh
It happened this
no.
morning. I actually went to. I thought I booked a UHS appointment today.
Yeah.
I went to UHS. I tapped my card, and it doesn't work. So I checked the confirmation email and it says 18th. So my dumbass probably like did it in half, like while I was half asleep, thinking 16, thinking 18 said 16.
No.
So I just, yeah. But thankfully, I don't have classes anymore today. So I'm relaxing, recording podcast, and I might record another one today with one of my friends.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Also Chisan.
Yeah, in Jisan.
Wow, so busy.
Not really. It's. I mean, I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy whether it's friends, whether it's random people. I just enjoy it. So this is not really work. It doesn't make me feel busy. It's just like I'm passing my time as usual, but it's just being recorded now. Yeah.
This is nice.
Yeah. I mean, I hope so. I've done a few episodes already. I mean, if this doesn't go anywhere, but I do have some plans for the podcast that I want to like. Even if I don't stay in Jisan, if I could, I would keep on doing a podcast. But then, how would I find guests? Right, right. The only reason I'm doing it in
Right.
Jisan is that I have this whole building of people to tell. Yo, I have a podcast. Come on. Yeah, but not that many people signed up.
Oh really?
But I mean, it once I get started, once I get it rolling, it's gonna start coming in. I know that, but I realize that for it to start off, I'm gonna have to invite a lot of my friends, just so that I can like spread it through them. Be like, yo, go tell people, you've done the podcast. Um, but then again, recording with my friends is a bit of a hassle. I've tried it many times before, and it just goes downhill. Within like the 40-minute mark, there's like four other dudes in the room, shouting, screaming, no conversation going on. We're just doing our own thing. Some people are just reacting to videos in the background. Everyone's just playing football here. Like it becomes messy. But yeah, that's the plan for the podcast.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if you have any friends, if you have any associates that would like to do this, please do tell them. I'd love to have them on. Yeah. So what was I gonna ask? I'm not very good at this.
It's fine.
I'm not very good at this. What was I gonna ask? Right. So this is your last semester.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask about like your degree in terms of like what do you get when you graduate? What's the final result? Right? You know what I mean? Like what tells you that this is what you've studied and this is what you can do with what you studied?
Ah. Well, this is interesting because everybody is different in my degree. Like what they're interested is different. So what I end up getting is I major in interdisciplinary studies is my major, and I can choose my second major and minors. So I minor in sociology.
Minor in sociology. Okay. What exactly is sociology? Because that's one of the few words that I'm like, I've heard many people say it, but I don't know what it exactly is.
I guess it would just be society, but broader.
So it's like understanding how societies work. I'm putting it
Yes.
into very simple words, but I don't know much
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. That would be the essence of it.
Like, but then society is quite vague, though, right?
It is.
Like, what aspects of society, though?
It's like relationships between people, but not on a micro scale, on a macro scale. For
Okay.
example, this group of people, or this type of people, this class of people. Oh, the government, these organizations, corporations. Like you would see it more of a macro view of society, is how I view sociology.
Right, and you just do you focus more on how those different groups or different classes or different like I guess like portions of society interact with each other? Is that what you like focus on, or do you just look at them and make an analysis of what they're like, and like what's like I guess what I'm asking is that what would be the final product? You know what I mean? Like, let's say you work on a project, the final product is the item you make, like this water bottle, right? This could be a project, and the final product is that we get to sell this bottle. So what would be the final product of doing sociology or learning sociology?
You would have a better intuition of how things work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like maybe in the future there's this problem between this, just hypothetically, maybe
Yeah.
NGO and corporation. Then you would have a vague idea, not corporation, maybe NGO and this class of people.
Mm.
And you would have a vague, it wouldn't be so vague because you would
You have an understanding of it.
yes.
Yeah. So it's not vague to you, but for everyone else looking into it, it might seem vague.
Yes, you
Yeah.
would have an intuitive understanding of how that might function, how that might work, what problems
Oh,
might occur.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would say sociology, you can envision it as like a big puzzle that will
Mm.
never be completed. And each little part of sociology is like a small puzzle piece.
Mhm.
And it's a puzzle that will never be finished.
I can see how that's a puzzle. Yeah. It's still hard to wrap my head around it because it just seems like there's so many things you could focus on.
Yeah.
Because it like, if you think of like just society in general, there's so many parts of society that you put together, but then you have to understand each one, but then each one changes depending on the country, depending on the region, depending on the people,
Mhm.
right? So there's
Yeah.
always changing.
Yeah.
Am I in the right ballpark there?
Yeah, I completely agree with that thought. That's why I do interdisciplinary studies.
Okay.
And I don't major in sociology because I'm not completely convinced by either.
Sorry,
Yeah.
what-
I'm not
what?
completely convinced by sociology either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my interests are also in geography and history.
Geography. Okay.
Yeah.
From what I know, geography is a very useful course for doing a lot of things in terms of career, right? Am I right in saying that? Geography, like, it opens up a lot more doors than most subjects because it covers so much in terms of just like real life aspects, like real life conversations and just whatever, right?
Depends on the person.
Okay.
Depends on the person. I guess I'd say this based on my own knowledge, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Because for me, I just pick courses that I think, oh, this would fit into what I'm like.
right, because you have the ability to pick and choose, and you should like shape up your own path, right? You just choose what you're interested in, and then you obviously have to make sure it's actually connected to what something else you're being forced to do. Is like if you have like prereqs, you ideally take, I don't know, let's say 3 electives that are somewhat related, so you stay within the same bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Is that somewhat correct? Is that what
I
you
don't
did?
have many prereqs.
Okay.
So it's quite chill. So, for example, in my second year, I took a course on migration, and then I
Mm.
realized this is so interesting. So I just started I took one in geography, then I took one in sociology, and then I focused like my essays from other classes also on migration.
Mm.
So it'd be sort of like that. Like I would see something, oh, that interests me. Now I take a course on it.
Okay.
Or, oh, I don't really know about colonial Hong Kong, then I take courses on that.
Okay.
And then, oh, okay, I have a bit more of an idea of how that works. And now I want to go into Chinese history, something like that.
Okay, that sounds like it's fun. I mean, you get to work both on your curiosity and your sort of passion in a way. Like, whatever you like, you do. Whatever you're confused about, you do. Right? It's just,
Yeah.
yeah. But by the time you like choose all of these random subjects throughout the like 4 years that you're here, I'm guessing like the choices that you make within these 4 years, they sort of guide you to this final path that you'd be like, okay, based on what I've learned so far, based on what I've chosen to do so far, I now have gained the abilities and the understanding and knowledge to go and do whatever the next step is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say your so-called next step is?
Honestly, my next step is just to work. Any field is fine.
That
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds really broad, but I just have to figure. The next step is I need to figure out what I cannot accept in a workplace.
Oh,
is
okay.
my next thing I want to figure out. So that's why it doesn't really matter, because I
Mm.
already know what things I'm interested in.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But career-wise, I'm very, very open to trying anything.
Great.
So that's why it's just, oh, can I do something full-time? Can I handle big
Yeah.
organization, small organization? What type of bosses can I not stand?
Mm.
Can I work in this field? Like, I just have to answer a few questions, and
Yeah.
then I think I will get to my destination
Okay.
by
Perfect.
process of elimination.
Yeah. So the criteria is now just boiled down to your personal preferences, right? It's not as to like some people will go out and do something that they don't exactly want to do, but they do it for the benefit of like more money, more practical, whatever it is, right? But
Mhm.
for you, now that you've sort of shaped up your understanding and knowledge throughout these 4 years, you have the ability to choose a place or a field that you want to work in based on purely your personal, I guess, requirements or criteria.
Yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
I'm not really chasing for a career right now, like a very like
Mhm.
set
Yeah.
career. It's just, oh, I just need to try different things and then
Yeah.
get more experience. And then I also want to try like other experiences that are not academic, like
Yeah. Yeah.
working in another country or working holiday
Mm.
or this thing called Workaway. Have you heard of it?
I have not. What's work away?
So it's quite popular. I mean, when I went on my exchange semester, like people knew about this.
To Norway. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just this thing where you can work in another country
Mm.
for a short period of time, like maybe 2 weeks or like
Oh.
3 months or something like that,
Okay.
where you work in a place and they give you accommodation and
Mm.
food. So it's just gaining a new experience, and that's the sort of thing I kind of want to do
Mm.
as well. So that's why I'm not really, oh, I have to do this career, because I don't,
Mm.
it won't be that.
Yeah. And it's actually really interesting hearing all this because um, living in Hong Kong, I mean, I've lived in Asia my whole life. I lived in Bangladesh before I moved to Hong Kong. So I'm very, like, my mind is still very stuck on that strict way of like, go uni, get a job, and it's all one line. There's no freedom into playing around like you have. So how would you say, like, would you say like your mindset has changed from being that, or was it never that strict mindset in the first place?
I think I was never that strict in the first place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
'cause
great. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I always kind of grew up sort of not really listening to people.
You're just a bit of a rebel then. You're just
I would just do, oh, I think I want to do this. I'm
So you
going to
just
do
do
it.
it.
Like, as long as it's not like harmful or something,
of
it's
course,
like,
yeah.
oh, I'll just do whatever I want.
yeah.
And I guess I've always just been like that. But now I just have a bit more confidence in
Yeah,
myself
of course.
that
Yeah.
it's fine and I should just go for it.
You have like trust in yourself. You trust yourself to do something because you've built yourself up throughout the years, and you like understand yourself enough to know that it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's the main thing is because we get told since we're children. Well, like most people, probably not you because you don't listen to people apparently. But
It's not that bad.
yeah, I guess most people, especially in Asia, we get told to do certain things certain ways because that is a solution that was figured out long time ago to be a solution that is ideal or like most practical or most efficient for most people. So it's like a higher chance of being successful, like quote unquote being successful. But you could also say that it's out of fear of the uncertainty that comes with trying something new.
Mm.
So, and what I've realized since like the last 2 years of high school, we humans just do not like uncertainty. I don't know what your thoughts about that is. I I personally hate uncertainty. Like it scares me. I need to if I'm getting into something new, I need to know everything and anything about it, so I can make sure that I'm doing it like properly, and if I'm gonna do it, that it's the correct thing to do. But would you say you are more the experimental type? Like you just go in head first, see what happens, or do you like pre-plan everything, and then you make a decision whether you want to go in or not.
Usually I have an idea of
Uh-huh.
I'm going to do that. Perhaps it's like getting into a swimming pool, but I'm not diving in. And
Right.
I'm not getting in. I'm just like holding onto the edge and
Yeah.
trying it.
Okay. So you're just getting a taste of it.
Yes, and if I
Okay.
like it, then I'll just go in.
Okay.
But it's
I
not
see.
like a shock to my system.
Right. I see. Yeah. I'd say, for me personally, if I'm getting told that there's this one thing I should really do by a lot of the people around me, I will definitely consider it. And again, I'll do the same things, like I'll test the waters a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll just have an urge. It's almost like an instinct thing. I'll have an urge, and then bang, I'm fully in. Whether it goes right or wrong, I'm fully in. There's no coming back from it. But that's also very harmful to myself because I don't test the waters enough, so it could go horribly wrong. But yeah, I mean, at least you have this, like, the level of maturity to know that once I've seen this, and this about a certain topic, I can then make a appropriate decision about whether I want to go pursue this, right? Yeah. So it's actually interesting because your your like idea of trying different things and exploring and not being sort of bound down to the strict path of life, it somewhat relates to architecture, but we focus everything around architecture, and only architects will know how vague the subject is. So we have the freedom to be experimenting within architecture,
Mm-hmm.
but then again, for anyone outside architecture, it's just architecture.
uh,
That's why I can somewhat understand what you're saying.
about sociology.
Yeah, about sociology. Yeah, that's why it's somewhat relatable because I could be, I could finish my architecture bachelor's now, and then I could take an interest to, let's say, design, specifically design, and then I could get into just doing very abstract projects, very, I guess, just experimental projects, or I could go into um, just doing the hard, like, nitty gritty of everything and just getting into straight job and working up the ranks, whatever. Or I could go into research, but that's mostly the extent of it. Whereas you have everything, right? you you have everything. It, like, you could do everything, right? But what I wanted to ask earlier is, what's something that you would not do whatsoever? Like, what's an absolute no in your criteria?
Ooh.
Because you have such freedom, but you must say absolutely no to something, right? You can't try everything.
I think I would say no to like a night shift. A job that
Okay.
requires a night shift.
Okay.
Even though I'm a night owl, it's no for me.
What's wrong with night shift?
I just think even though I'm a night owl, I wouldn't do it. It seems too damaging for the body.
Right.
Yeah.
It does make sense. I mean, there's a reason it's dark at night. It's not meant to be hours at which you are out and about. But guess what? That's what life is. If you're not out and about at dark, you're not enjoying. You can't do half the stuff you do at night in the day. It's not fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Another thing is I can't do a job that requires me to question the morals of what I'm doing in the job.
What
That's-
what would give me an example of that?
For example, let's say I become a PT at a gym, and then you have to sell the clients maybe like 50 lessons, like, and they don't want it, and you're just going and going, like that's
I see.
no. Or
Okay.
if there's something questionable about my job, like I have to lie about something, or the implications of it might negatively affect somebody else, and it's not really right, then yeah, I can't really do it.
Okay. You see, I'm still not, I'd say, not mature enough to be thinking on that level. Me personally, I just know for now, because I do part time as a waiter.
Mm.
But I just know now I'll never get into the F&B business.
Everyone says that.
But it's good money for students. Like if you get into a good place, it's decent money for a student. It's not that hard of a work.
Yeah.
So, but no, unless it's like managerial level, I'm not doing F&B because I feel like I could do managerial stuff, but just being a waiter, being like doing like the physical work, it's just
Mhm.
I'd rather use my brain. Even though like I'm better at physical like work, I wanna get used to using my head more,
Mhm.
just because I feel like that's more useful in the future, right? I
Yeah.
don't know. You're senior to me, so you're gonna have to give me feedback. You're gonna have to give feedback to everyone listening in the podcast. Like that's the great bit of it. You can give feedback to people without actually talking to them.
Huh. I see what you mean by using your brain because it's sort of
Yeah.
like exercising, but you're just exercising your brain, so you
Yes.
get used to using it better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I consider myself stupid, so
No, don't say that. Oh my god.
no, it that actually like keeps me in check more than anything because the more I think I'm stupid, the more I'll be like, why am I stupid? I'm not gonna be stupid forever. So I'm gonna go and find out about stuff that I need to find out about, and it just keeps me going. But I understand that when people call themselves stupid, it can be somewhat harmful to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on the person.
Depends
if
on the
it
person.
drives you, then
Yes,
it's good.
it's a driving force for me. Yes, definitely. Um, would you say your like you mentioned earlier that even like as a kid or maybe like earlier on in your life, you this idea of trying everything, trying new things, and not really listening to people telling you to do one thing exactly.
Mm.
Would you say this is like part of your upbringing or just something that you just developed through the life that you've lived based on like your social interaction, based on your ideas and whatever? You get what I mean? Like
Yeah, I guess as a child, I was a bit of a "Oh, I will do what I want."
I see.
A bit of
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
And then as I grew up, I was like, "Oh, I can actually just do what I want."
You actually have the choice to do that. Yeah.
Like, "Oh, I can."
Okay.
And I just sort of went for that. And
Mm.
I think when I was choosing my uni degree, everyone was choosing something very specific,
Mhm.
and it did made me feel a bit anxious. Like, oh, why do I just?
Yeah, just take the simple route. Just follow what everyone else is doing, right? Like,
Yeah, but I feel like I would be compromising something if I were to pick something specific. So I just didn't.
okay. Yeah. That's actually like a smart thing to do because would you say you had any sort of passion or an interest towards one specific subject or any sort of topic?
Yeah, I was passionate towards geography.
Geography.
Yeah.
Okay. What in geography? Like what about geography?
I think I just liked the topics, like places, people,
I see.
what are they doing, how do it's sort of like how sociology is,
Yeah.
except geography you can be more you can do more comparison, you can pick your place, like the which geography you're choosing, and the methods are a little bit different. Like sociology has more theory, geography would be more numbers
Right.
and
I see.
places.
It's more like statistical.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
I would say they're very similar from my lens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say that you prefer working in like a quantitative way over a qualitative way, or the other way around?
I like qualitative.
You like qualitative.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense to like what you're doing actually. Like, personally, I'm the same. I can't do quantitative stuff. I'm just not good at that. I imagine things. I'm like more visual. I can't.
Same.
You give me like a math question, I'll just not be interested. But if you tell me I'll have to do it, I'll try. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I won't go out of my way to do one.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
because it's just not fun. And I feel like I blame high school for that
Yeah.
because it just ruined the fun because it's just so much pressure. It's like you're getting told to do something, but you don't really want to do it, so it just takes the fun out of it. Interestingly, like this reminds me that I was having a conversation with my roommate earlier today. Um, when you enjoy something as a kid, and then by the time you grow up and you get forced, or not forced, but you get like encouraged to keep doing that thing,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of lose the fun. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
takes the fun out of it.
Yep.
So, would you say that you're this your tendency to be a rebel, your tendency to be a rebel since a child? Would you say the fun still remains now, or has it been somewhat dulled down because it's been sort of quantified because you prefer qualitative stuff, right? But if it's been quantified through this academic system, would you say it's taken the fun out of it?
Like my interest.
Yes.
Ooh, I have an interesting story.
Go
I
ahead.
wasn't going to pick this degree. My original, when I was about 16 to 17, I actually wanted to do university. Like what I wanted to do is I wanted to do design.
Ooh, design.
Yeah.
Like what kind of design? Like product design, interior design.
I wasn't sure. At that point, I was just, oh, I know I want to do design.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess like the school kind of fucked it up for me. And it just
HKU?
made me, not HKU,
Your
my
high school?
high school.
Okay, I see.
I had this really bad teacher.
I
And then there
see.
were exams for design. Exams,
Oh.
like exams that had words. I was not drawing.
Did you do IB?
I did.
Oh, which school did you go to? You went to.
Don't include that. I did.
Okay, I'll bleep it out. I'll bleep it
Yeah,
out.
I went to do.
Oh no! It's gonna give you a shock as to where I went to now.
Oh, what? Don't tell me you went to.
No, I didn't go to.
But you were in Tongcheng.
But I am in the ESF family.
Discovery?
Yes,
Ah,
I went to DC.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've actually been a lot because
Sports.
no, not even sports because I was part of a sustainability group of our school. Like
Oh.
it's called DC Green Cobras,
Okay.
and we had a lot of like interventions at
Interesting.
because there's like an inter-school sustainability strategy thing that we were working on, and we had to go to RC like a few times in like a few months. We just get together, talk about what's going on. But yeah, obviously I'm gonna have to bleep out the school name. But it's fine. It's fine. So you're part of the ESF family.
Yes, but I don't identify that way, and I
Okay.
don't really put it on my LinkedIn.
Are you that ashamed of it?
I wouldn't say ashamed, but it's just like not really part of me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's like, oh yeah, that is my upbringing, but I don't really associate with it.
Right. Okay.
Don't
I
really go
see.
to alumni stuff. Don't really say it unless asked.
Yeah, I get what you mean. So you say you're like completely sort of, what's the word? Like blocked out. You've completely blocked out your high school connections in a way, right?
I'm friends with people.
Yeah, of course
so-
you have high school friends, yes. But
Yeah.
you like your high school life, your high school experience. You've completely like sort of cut it off in a way.
Yeah, I'm completely different of
Okay.
a person.
Okay. How about your high school friends? Like, are they in HKU? Or are they just, or are they not? Like, are they
Some
around
are
the
in
world?
HKU. A lot are not in HKU.
Okay.
Just in
Okay.
another
Just
country.
a mix. Just a mix. Okay. That's
Yeah.
fine.
I can continue the story of design.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You did
so
good,
there
yeah.
were like those exams, and I just wasn't doing well, and I couldn't figure out why. It was like, one of those those exams
know
that are
what's
trying to
surprising?
slip you up.
I took design as well
What do you think?
in IB, and the story's identical to you, where the teacher I had was horrible, and he took the fun out of it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but continue with your story, and then I'll share mine.
Yeah, it's just the teacher hated me, bro. Because,
Yeah.
like, I was somebody who was not really I wouldn't really be too obedient. I was just sort of, oh, I think you're not that good, so I'll just tell you, like, oh, this isn't really working out for me.
Uh-huh.
And I guess that teacher just couldn't take criticism.
Ooh,
Just a bit of a
grown person. Like, you're a grown man or woman.
man.
What's his
Yeah, it was a man.
name? What was his name?
I can tell you later.
I'll bleep it out.
But you wouldn't know him though.
What's his name? What was his
He
name?
is-
Oh, okay, I don't know him. Because
Okay,
there's
bleep
a-
it, bleep
yeah,
it.
of course,
Don't
of
include
course,
it.
Of course, I'll bleep it all. I'll bleep it all. Whatever. Like, you want to keep confidential, I'll bleep it all. But there's a lot of like teacher swaps between all the ESF schools, so I might end up knowing one.
Bro, it was just so bad, and I couldn't. I think he just had a bit of a temper,
Uh-huh.
couldn't take criticism, like that sort of thing. And then I just I think I should just switch. And I always knew I was good at geography, but I just don't know if I wanted to pursue it. So then I just decided, I think I'm burnt out in design. I
Yeah.
cannot do this
Yeah.
for more years. So I just decided to do arts and science, keep it open, and it worked out. I realized I'm actually good at this, and I have a good sense of how it works. Yeah.
Would you say that your like that sort of interest towards geography, it stemmed from your interest in design, or is it completely unrelated?
Completely unrelated. I was just good at.
So you just discovered this new thing and you're like, oh, I also like this.
I always knew I was good. I was kind of good at that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
but then
see.
I just kind of like left it there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, design. It was a odd experience for me because we do DP, right?
Yeah.
I had my teacher changed after the first year of DP because, but I love that teacher. First year DP teacher, design teacher, homies. We're like, I loved him. He's the best guy I never knew. But unfortunately, he had to go back to his family who were living in Australia, and he just hadn't spent time with them in a long time. So he just moved back. But the replacement teacher, oh my god. To this day, I hate him. To this day, if he stands in front of me, I will not say hi to him willingly.
I feel the same way about that guy, bro.
It's so bad. And then the other thing is, design wasn't the only way I was bound to that teacher. I was also the extended essay.
Oh fuck, that's so bad.
I also did a
that's
design
bad.
extended essay, and my teacher changed from
no.
the first absolute G
Yeah.
to this dude called. That's gonna have to be bleeped out, but and it's the worst experience. Like, it's one of, like, I'd say it's like top 5 worst experiences of my life. That 1 year.
Wow.
That 1 year with him, and even after coming into HKU is bad, because I was out with one of my friends. We went to Five Guys in Central, and I just see him stroll into Five Guys all alone,
Ew.
and I'm like, okay, I don't want to deal with him. I just don't want to. I just don't even look at him. But obviously, we're waiting for our order for the number to come into the screen.
Yeah.
Me and my friend were just talking, and then he comes around behind me, and he's like, "Oh, Abid, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, hey, Mr. How you doing? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, so you're in uni now?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, where you studying?" I'm like, "HKU." And he's like, "Whoa, HKU? I thought you'd never get in." I'm like, "What?" Obviously, I didn't react. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm in HKU now. I'm actually studying architecture." He's like, "Oh." He gave me that reaction because he said specifically that within that last year of DP, he told me to my face that with the mindset and your work ethic, you'll never be able to do architecture.
What a piece of shit.
What a piece of shit. No, right?
Yeah. You don't say that.
He, like, why would any teacher say that? Like, you could hate a student, but don't put him down like that, alright?
Yeah, it's definitely not productive. There's no use to saying stuff like that.
Exactly. But it felt good. It felt good to prove him wrong. It felt good to tell him to his face that, no, I'm studying the exact thing you told me I could never study.
Yeah.
And considering I, like, regarded design as one of my favorite subjects, and considering he ruined it, it felt even better to tell him to his face. But apparently, a lot of the people in the years below that I've talked to, they also don't like him. So I'm like, yeah, it's just not me then. He's the same to everyone. Like, I remember there's this one day we were working on our IA, and we hadn't started our IA in the first year DP,
Yeah.
because the first teacher, he's like, we had just come out of COVID then, and we were still doing like half in class and half online.
Yeah.
So one day in class, one online, and we had lost a lot of lessons on online lessons. So he's like, if you're in class, if you're in school, we're doing practicals every single day.
Oh, nice.
We are doing practicals because I would rather have you build up your practical skills than be able to write an essay.
Yep.
Because it's a design,
Yep.
right? Who gives a shit about how many words I can write about this stupid product I've made?
Right? Why are we writing all this bullshit?
Exactly.
Ugh.
How many words was it? Like 3,000, 4,000 words?
About what?
About your entire process of designing this shitty little product. Just make the product, see if it's useful, right? That should be the basic like steps of it.
Yep.
But no. So yeah, the first year we just spent doing practicals, but then second year this dude comes in,
Please write.
and then he's like, because our entire class was like 6 people,
Okay.
and he's like, how have you not done any work on your IA? You guys should have started like 6 months ago. And we're like, oh yeah, we had this COVID issue. He came from Ireland. He's like, oh, we had this COVID issue, and we couldn't really do anything unless we were online. And online, we started working on like practice IAs, but we hadn't exactly done anything because we never had in-class lessons. And when we did, we did practicals. We tried to explain it to him many times, but every lesson, he would just, it'd be like a punch in the gut for every single student. Like, he was just not nice. Like, he'd be like, oh, you guys are so irresponsible, you guys are so bad at time management and all this. There's this one day where he specifically told me to stay back after class, and it was the last lesson, and he told me to stay back, and he's like, I gotta talk to you. I'm like, sure, if you want to give me feedback, I'll listen, whatever, right?
You think it's something important.
Yeah, I'm like, it's important. I'm like, I'll stay back. I stay back, he picks up a whiteboard marker, starts writing on the whiteboard, and then he pretty much goes through the entire criteria of, like, the success criteria of the IA.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, you gotta do this. I'm like, okay, but I've done that. He's like, oh, but this is not good enough. I'm like, okay, then tell me how to make it better, right?
Right? I feel like
They'll just tell me that it's bad. I'm like, well, what am I gonna do with that?
Mm-hmm.
And I still have screenshots of him just commenting on our Google Classroom. Like, he'd make us submit an updated version, like a PDF updated version of our IA every lesson. And we're like, well, what if one lesson we're working on making the product instead of writing the essay, right? Writing the IA.
Yeah.
What do you want us to submit then? He's like, oh, but you gotta work on your IA. I'm like, what? There's this one email that I have a screenshot of. It just says that, please upload a new version of your IA. There was no work that I see that was done from the previous update, and just like make sure you upload it to Google Classroom as a PDF and send it to me as an email. I'm like, what?
Sounds like the teacher I had. Like, the amount of, like,
that just seems
idiotness.
so backwards. But then I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But what he wrote in that email that pissed me off the most,
Mm-hmm.
he started going personal.
Oh,
He started saying personal stuff. He started like, I can't be chasing you around to do your assignments. You gotta work on yourself. You gotta get better at your time management. You'll not be able to do what you want to do if you keep it like this. I'm like, well, you can't talk to me like that. You have no right to be talking to me like that. It got so bad, we talked to our DP coordinator about this.
They usually don't do shit, though.
No, they don't do shit. He didn't do shit.
Yeah.
Because one of our classmates, his mom was a teacher at our school. And obviously he went and told his mom that, oh, our design teacher is shit. And he's doing this, and this. And his mom got pissed off. So he's like, you got to go talk to the DP coordinator. And she made us go. And it was just me and 2 of my friends, 2 of the boys in the class. It's just us 3, and there were like 3 other girls, but only the boys went because the girls just apparently never showed up to class. I don't know why. They just never showed up to class. They got genuinely fed up of the dude. They just never came to class.
Wow, I didn't show up to class and the DP coordinator came after me, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I kind of associate with the school, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't agree with things like
And
that.
then the DP coordinator just told us like, oh, you know, you just got to do what your teacher tells you to do. It's not always going to be the same. You just got to, grow up, I guess. That's essentially what he said. So we're like, okay, screw this dude. We're not going to just put our heads down, get the work done, forget it ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's like the basic design story. But to this day, I'd still say design is one of my favorite subjects, just because you have so much fun doing practicals. Like, did you guys have a design workshop?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, okay, because I feel like that's something that a lot of schools miss out on.
It's actually really fun.
It's
like
so much fun.
like no one can not have fun doing this.
Exactly. But it hurts me that most people can't do it,
Yeah.
because it's just, you have a laser cutter, you know how to use it. It takes like 10 minutes to learn. You could be cutting so many things. It's just making random stuff.
Yep.
Like, I remember in the year 1 of DP with the first teacher, we made, Keith Haring.
Yes.
We made like laser cut outlines of those things out of acrylic,
Oh my god.
and then we made it so that we can injection mold them, but with hot glue.
Oh.
So we made like small like pendants and everything.
Oh, that's
We
so
like
cute.
laser cut acrylic things, and then made it so that if you stick the hot glue gun in it and like squeeze the hot glue in, it'll just make the thing. So you have an acrylic outline with the hot glue thing in the middle.
Oh.
So we did
that's
so many like
cool.
experiments. Like, we played around. We tried to make fridge magnets. We tried to make pendants. We just had
Made
fun.
everything.
We made everything.
And that's how it should be.
Exactly, right? It's
it should be
design.
fun.
Exactly. That's the thing about design. It's just, you don't write an essay about the product. You make the product. You see if it works. If it doesn't work, you fix it.
Yeah.
Why do I gotta write about it? They should have a much better way of grading it. Talking about extended essays, what did you do your extended essay on?
Geography.
Geography. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to pick something that wouldn't occupy too much of my time, so
Right.
it was just quite intuitive. Like, I just do research and then collect some data
Uh-huh.
and then write about it.
Yeah, that seems straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say TOK is a fun subject for you?
Nope. Even I just didn't like it. I think I was very burnt out and did not
I
care
see.
about school at that
I
point.
see. Yeah.
I just wanted to leave ASAP.
Ah,
That
okay.
was-
yeah.
I was
that-
really
yeah.
burnt out for the last 2 years, and
Uh-huh.
it was really, really bad that I was showing up to school at like 10:30.
Oh.
I don't care anymore. Tote bag.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
I genuinely could not give a shit. I was just waiting to leave.
Ah, yeah.
And
I mean,
then, no, I don't like TOK. I like philosophy though. Like, I come to HKU and I did 2 philosophy courses.
Mm.
Like, I did philosophy of science. I did philosophy of mind. Philosophy
Ooh.
of science, some people would say is like TOK, but I would say TOK is like a crap version.
really.
Yeah.
What is philosophy of science?
It's like, oh, what is science? What makes something credible? What makes something not science?
Okay, I can
Like,
see how that relates
discussions like
to TOK.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but I wouldn't draw the connection just because I'm
Yeah.
not convinced by TOK.
Mm.
But also, I was too burnt out, so I just don't think about secondary school.
Yeah. I feel like TOK is like just a rabbit hole of a subject, because by the time you're doing like the final essay, you know how there's like the typical meme that you read back your TOK essay and you don't have a single clue what it's about.
Mhm.
Like, you read your own TOK essay and you're like, what the hell have I written? But
Yep.
that only happens because you while you're writing it, you are only focusing on that one thing, and you are sort of writing it so that whatever's going on in your head comes down to the paper. But
Yep.
then it's hard to explain what's going on into your head to other people.
Yep.
So the essay, when you read it back, it just sounds and reads like shit.
Yeah, it's not.
But
Yeah.
but there are like some aspects of TOK that I can be like, yes, that helped me change the way I think about things. But that's because I didn't have any other sort of like way of changing that sort of mindset, because TOK was the only one, whereas you had philosophy, right? TOK was the last thing I did about thinking, so
Mm.
that's my only reference point. Yeah. But I hear people doing philosophy, and it's genuinely something I'm interested in. Like, I wanna do something about philosophy, but then I'm like, oh, I'm doing architecture. There's too many things to do. I don't have the time for that. But yeah, philosophy's fun. But what I do want to ask about philosophy is, one of my friends who does philosophy, but like he does political science, but I
Yeah.
think he took like a philosophy course,
Yep.
something like that.
Yep.
Um, in that course, he mentioned that there was this, in like one of the exams, there's this one phrase, one portion that was talking about how, why is it that if there is a war happening,
Mm-hmm.
for the war to be instigated, it has to be one party going against another. So one party instigates the war.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it that after it's instigated, everything within the war is equal grounds? How do you justify that?
That's interesting.
Yeah, and like that's why I'm like, yeah, philosophy's fun because that's a fun
You
thinking
should
exercise.
try political theory. I took a course called Introduction to Political Theory.
Political theory. Okay.
Yeah.
What's
It's
political theory?
like the same approach as, no, I won't say it's same, similar approach to philosophy on political problems.
Oh yeah, politics is fun. It's a lot of it's a fun spectator sport. It's fun to watch, but once you're part of it, oh, it's a hassle.
Yeah, I think it's tedious, not something I want to be in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like over this winter break, I went back to Bangladesh, and the elections were happening.
Yep.
And like my dads and my uncles, they're quite political. Not
Mm.
really, but like if they have someone they support, they go full on support mode. They'll
Mhm.
do like campaigning and everything. Like I had videos of me and my uncles just getting into a car, blasting the speakers of like the theme song of this one member,
Oh,
and
okay,
we just
okay.
drive around the village, and it's just pretty much like advertising the thing, right?
Wow.
But that, I mean, I only saw like the surface level stuff, but from that and like just seeing what people are like in terms of like the public and voting for people, and how much of like lying and just misinformation that spreads around and rumors and whatnot, I'd be like, I don't want to be a part of it, but it is again a fun spectator sport.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch from the outside perspective because I moved to Hong Kong a long time ago, so I'm like somewhat disconnected from that part of my family, that side of my life.
Mhm.
But I did enjoy that entire experience over the winter break because I'm like, oh, I've seen all of you family members now, but I'm seeing you do all this, and it's actually quite fun to watch. But I would not be involved in it.
Yeah.
It's not, no. Politics is. I would not be a politician.
Me too. I'll be in the public eye. Don't know me. Don't know my name. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, well, yeah, this podcast is.
Hi, yours fine.
We don't exactly have the biggest reach, so I think you're fine. Like at most, only my friends are gonna watch this, like maybe 10 people. But down the line, maybe like 10 years down the line, if this goes skyrocketing, if people go back to my like original uploads, they'll see you.
It's chill.
It's chill. Okay, fine. But yeah, politics is not fun. Would you say that like sociology somewhat makes you look into politics a little bit, because it is quite a big aspect in terms of how groups of people or people in general are allowed to function in society?
Yes, it's like a factor of some
Is it like a
topic.
small thing, or is it like a very
I would say it's a small thing for me.
Okay.
It's not that big of a portion because sociology in itself is already so big.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Zinei. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Yes.
Zinei,
Correct.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Zinei, for coming onto the podcast. It's lovely talking to you.
Thanks.
Again, as I said earlier, if you do have people that would like to be on a podcast and just talk for an hour or so, please do invite them. Any last words? Any last thoughts?
This was nice.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.